The turbo feeling.
That's like half throttle.
Welcome back to Flywheel Films and welcome to Flyin Miata Summer Camp and the secret little shop area back here where Flyin Miata does lots of little tinkering and testing and such. And right over here is Nancy, Flyin Miata's NC development car, which currently is housing the NC Turbo kit. I am so excited for this kit. In fact, this whole crowd was before. Today, Brandon gave an update on what they're working on. That whole video is on Flyin Miata's channel of just his general updates. They recorded it live. I think it's on their YouTube channel as well. Either way, I'm taking a really quick look at it, but most of this video is going to be out on the track, Grand Junction Motor Speedway, and I'll be riding passenger in Nancy, talking to Brandon, who is driving, talking about, yeah, where it's at. What's up with the kit? How is it handling on track? How's the thermals? How's everything? So let me go a really quick walk around tour on this. They're just doing dinner right now, so I'm squeezing this in, and then we'll go jump out on track. So again, here is the actual kit on this car. Of course, turbo on the hood. It's actually a really good looking car now. You have this really aggressive spoiler that they've added since the last time I saw it. This car has been out to Miatas at the Gap, Miata Reunion, kind of everywhere. This car goes everywhere. The kit's been on it for about a year. They actually drove it across the country to get to Miatas at the Gap with this kit. Actually, even earlier version of the kit. You know, they've been developing it, so it's been through iterations and trying things and making things work, and a lot of R&D has been going on in this car. They've actually been working on this for years, effectively. About, I don't know, roughly 2 years since conception, but the actual development of everything you can see right here. It's really cool to see the engine out of the car, by the way. Here's basically sort of what the kit looks like. Now, this part right here actually won't be that right there. That'll be actually 3D printed out of metal, which is pretty cool, and probably cast at some point. But to get it actually functioning on the car over here, they had to 3D print it out of metal, which is really cool. You can see it right there. And they're working on heat shielding right now. So this kit, as you can see it, is about 95% complete, like pretty much ready to go. The airbox over here, the battery is moved over just a tiny bit, but they wanted to retain the stock battery. That was a really big deal. This one currently has the Moroso tank. This will be compatible with aftermarket cooling tanks because that's, you know, a known failure point on the NC. Of course, the ECU is exposed there, but I do have a cover I can put on mine once I have this installed on my car. Other than that, there's not much you have to do. You have to relocate the washer fluid over here, and you do retain your stock cat. Here's what the stock cat will look like once you chop the top off and then weld something to it, or they'll have an option to buy the cat already welded and cut up from them. You can't use an aftermarket cat, you have to use an OEM version, and you can't use a used cat from someone else. You're not allowed to buy a used cat. It's technically illegal. So you have to retain your cat, and part of that is what keeps this kit down to $5,000, which is actually pretty comparable to other turbo things. I think that's relatively similar to the kits you'll find in like their NAs and NBs, which you can see right here. It's just so cool to see this all exposed. But that's just a really quick walk around of the car. You can see the intercooler through there with, of course, FM written on it. Yes, this is such a fun car. It was super fun on track. So let's just do that, shall we? Let's take you out on track.
All right.
I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah.
So we were in the turbo car and we're going on track, and it's raining.
And in the rain,
People have started leaving with good reason. But how do you feel about this thing so far?
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's such a sweetheart. I was driving around, I'm like, we're just kind of taking it easy on this lap. I'll just leave it in third gear. And then it's like, oh, well, maybe third gear is actually better. Maybe I don't need second gear.
Oh my gosh. The turbo feeling.
That's like half throttle.
So yeah, if Mazda won't make it in a Mazda Speed NC,
yeah, we
someone
will.
can.
We can take care of that.
And the noises are kind of intoxicating. Yep. So is that what they will just all sound like?
Yeah, this is a production kit.
That's fantastic. And how many places, I mean, you've done some track driving on other tracks in development.
Yeah, so we've driven, we did HPR, So High Plains Raceway, so it's a big track, long straights, that kind of thing. And then we do a lot at this track. This track is extra good for testing and development because it's tough. There's very little straight.
Right.
So there's not that much airflow. There's a lot of full throttle, but there's not that much speed. And we're in the high desert. So high temperatures, low humidity, so cooling is really challenging around here.
And high elevation, which is why I've had my eye on turbo for a long time. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's been a while since I've had my car on this track, but it did not feel like this.
Yeah, there might be. There's some similarities, to be fair, but there are some marked differences as well.
Right. Jeez. And so I guess you guys haven't really, I mean, thermals are, like you said, a big challenge with high performance, especially like a car that was never technically designed for a turbo.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you have basically figured that out?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely still have to pay attention to temperatures and such. But yeah, we've got with the calibration and the parts, and I mean, really, we've been turbocharging Miatas for decades. So
right.
we've learned a thing or two in that amount of time.
It's like that insurance commercial. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, exactly. We have.
Nice. I mean, you've done kits for all generations now, right? Like NC's the last one?
The NC is the last one, yeah. Exactly.
Until whatever's next.
Until the next one. It's the last one until the next one. How's that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can translate that however you'd like.
Oh, I'm liking this translation though. This is exhilarating. What tires is this running right now?
They're the Hankook RS4s.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm impressed. And the track's not actually wet, but
yeah, it's barely sprinkling.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something about, I've never had a turbo car, and so those noises to me are like, oh, I've just never been able to do that. This is amazing. Oh yeah. So through this development process, besides Mike, how many people at Flyin Miata are now like, you know what, maybe I should buy it and see?
I might be added to that list. Jeremy, pretty sure he is. I think Nick has made some noise. So yeah, the list is ever growing for sure.
Right. And this may just bring back the NC market up a bit because suddenly people are gonna be like, oh, you mean I live in California and I can have a legal turbo?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy how many are in California, and a lot of people are out here at Flyin Miata Summer Camp from California.
Yeah, there are a lot of California people out here.
Yeah. This is great. I appreciate the laps.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate, more importantly maybe, this actual, this becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dream come true. Even when I bought my car years ago, it's like, well, I'll probably just leave it naturally aspirated. And then my neighbors here at Flyin Miata are like, you know what we're doing?
We have a thing. You might be interested in.
Like, oh no. And how's the torque curve and the power band and everything?
It's very, very smooth.
Because that's a lot of people's, like, if someone comes up to you and they're like, you know what, I prefer supercharger because I want linear, turbos have huge lag, like, what's your modern response to that? Because I think that used to be more true.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you size the turbo.
Right.
So, and what supercharger, what style of supercharger you're talking about, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, with anything, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yep.
But the turbo is definitely our preferred choice of. See if I can run over Travis there. Our preferred choice of abnormal induction.
Abnormal induction.
If you will, or aspiration.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, this thing rips. Technical term.
Yeah, the boost is kind of low right now too. I mean, it's not that low, but
yeah,
it's not up to our target.
Makes sense. Well, this is, basically how I'd want an NC, and it just kind of reaffirms my choice of I never want to ever sell my car.
And the only reason I would have is like, I mean, I had the first glimpse of a thought I had was when I drove the new Supras. I was like, oh, light car, turbo, fast, that's good.
Yeah.
But wow, this kind of changes that. So, yeah, looking forward to more content with this. It was fun to do a ride along with Mike a couple months ago and his, and now Nancy here, the development car. And have you done a lot of things differently between the two cars, or is that just you're kind of trying to set them both up and do redundancy in testing?
Yeah.
Like what's like when people are like, what's the point of having multiple cars in development instead of one car just doing everything?
Well, there are multiple reasons. You can do different things with the different cars. Like initially, we sent Mike's car to Detroit to our calibrator so that he could do everything, and that's worth a whole video on its own.
Yep.
But yeah, so that car went there. This car stayed here so we could do durability testing, polishing. You know, last year at summer camp, we had a really good kit that was pretty done.
Yep.
But we definitely learned some things through our testing. And oh, okay, turns out that didn't work as well as we thought it was going to. So now we need to do that differently. And then also all the boring stuff, getting production lined up and part numbers created and paperwork and snooze fest, but all that stuff needs to happen. So, but at this point, this kit is, the kit on this car is 95% production.
Nice.
Just exactly how production kits will be.
So what do you guys think? How freaking awesome is that? Brandon is a great driver. We weren't like necessarily pushing it super hard because it did start to rain and get a little bit wet, but just to get a feel of how it is on track. And it's very tight track. I mean, there's not quite as much long straights to add longer cooling time. So it's pretty engaging, pretty interesting. And I am beyond excited. I don't always show my excitement that well, but I am bubbling over internally, and I can't wait to have this on my car. My car will definitely have this kit. Timing is TBD. In fact, the timing for anyone to get this kit is TBD, but they are trying their hardest. They're working really hard. They keep hitting issues with suppliers, and you know, it takes a lot to develop something. So I'm hoping to do more videos in the future with Brandon and the Flyin Miata team, kind of showcasing just how hard it was, telling the story of this kit and how it came to fruition. It's just about there. So thank you so much for watching. Just a really quick sneak peek of this kit. Just like I did a quick drive with Mike's car just a few months ago, I wanted to give you another snippet, give you everything I possibly can, bring it to you as it comes to me. And yeah, thanks for tagging along in this really quick, simple video. A lot of other videos coming out of Flyin Miata Summer Camp, and hopefully more throughout the year with when I was at the Gap, Miata Reunion. So much Miata stuff. I love it. Cheers, guys. It's just about fruition. It's got the fruit is the fruit has sprung.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.